Hong Kong, officially the People's Republic of China, Hong Kong Special Administrative Region, is a Chinese city and special administrative region on the Pearl River Delta eastern bank. This region of China is located in the southeast of China near Taiwan.
Up until recently, Hong Kong was run by the British. This was because of the signing of the Chuanpa Convention, a accord intended to terminate the First Anglo-Chinese conflict. So what is well-being? Well-being is defined as the quality of life of a population, a good or satisfactory existence, a state characterized by happiness, health, prosperity, and welfare. Because of the agreement where Hong Kong was to stay a democracy, over the past few years, Hong Kong has experienced a lot of political changes which may impact their overall well-being.
One of the main factors to well-being of a city is their happiness. Over the years, happiness in Hong Kong has grown and decreased, which impacts their well-being of the people who live there. In 2021, Hong Kong was ranked 77th on the World's Happiness Index with a rating of 5.477.
Whereas Mongolia was ranked 70th and had a World Happiness Index of 5.677. This shows that whilst Mongolia is going down in the world ranking, it is getting happier and has improved a lot over the past few years, jumping from 102 in 2013 to 70th in 2021. But Hong Kong's happiness, on the other hand, has not improved. In fact, the research shows that over the past few years, Hong Kong has moved down the happiness ranking. Happiness plays such an important part in the well-being of a place, and although Hong Kong may have more prosperity than Mongolia, whether or not they are happier makes a significant difference. The decrease in happiness in Hong Kong could have been because of the large political changes Hong Kong has experienced over the years.
The domestic product, or GDP, of a country is the total products made within the country in a year. The GDP plays a large part in the well-being of a city and is one of the quantitative indicators to represent well-being. In 2020, Hong Kong's GDP was $34.6 billion USD, and the GDP per capita was over 26,200 USD. Hong Kong has the 33rd highest GDP in the world and shares 0.43 of the world's GDP. It is ranked amongst the 10 richest countries in the world and is now considered one of Asia's financial hubs, and is also ranked third in Forbes' list of best countries for business.
On the other hand, Mongolia's GDP was only $13.14 billion US dollars in 2020, and its GDP per capita was $4,007 US dollars. That is around $42,000 less than the GDP per capita in Hong Kong. However, Hong Kong's GDP has an annual growth rate change of negative 6.4%, whereas Mongolia had an annual growth rate change of minus 5.3% in 2020. Mongolia is also ranked 134th in the world for GDP and shares 0.01% of the world's GDP. This information shows that Hong Kong is a wealthier country compared to Mongolia and has experienced a faster modernisation improvement in well-being.
But the wealth of the country isn't the only thing that influences well-being. Whilst being wealthy has an extremely positive impact on a country, all the other factors have just as much of an impact and can be influenced and changed based on the amount of money a country has. Over the past century, parts of East Asia have undergone rapid modernisation and improvement in well-being, but some regions have benefited more than the others. Both Hong Kong and Mongolia have improved drastically in the past century. In the early 20th century, Mongolia was considered one of the least developed countries in the world. However, now Mongolia has a solid educational system, high levels of happiness, and their wealth has grown over the years. Whereas Hong Kong's healthcare rates have dropped considerably, have increased their wealth and happiness. Over the past century, Mongolia has improved drastically and has come further compared to Hong Kong, although Hong Kong still remains the overall wealthy country.